Okay, welcome everyone and a good tavach, as we're going to finish now the fourth parak of Yevamos and start the fifth parak. Wow, moving along in this incredible Masechta. So we are holding by Mishna Yud Gimel, sponsored Lili Nishmas Avram Yeshaya ben Shmaryo Yosef L'Fush Shalem for Yomis ben Chaya Sarah, and for the schus of Avram Yom ben Shpemal Yudis and family, for the Fisher family, Leila Nishmas Basi Bas Rabbi Shlomo ben Avram Alevi Perel Bas Ruvain, by Yod Klugman and family of Fush Shlema for my Shveru, was in Shabbos, in Shul twice this Shabbos, of Igdur Aryeh ben Rivka, Yelad ben Chava, and Meir ben Chaya Sarah. So Mishnah Yud Gimel tells us, Ezel Mamzer, what forbidden union produces a mamzer? It's a three-way machlokes. Kol she'er basar shu below yavai. Any relationship that's a lav. Divrei Rabbi Kiva. That's the opinion of Rabbi Kiva. He holds ein kedushin ta'isim b'chai v'lavan. Shimon atimni yomer kol shechayav olav koris b'dei shemayim. Any relationship that has an issur koris, like sleeping with a sister, except for a nida, v'alacha kedvarav. And the law is like Shimon atimni. Rabbi Yeshua says the only relationship that produces a mamzer is if it's a capital offense. Kol shechayav olav misas bezdin, like adultery. Reb Shimon ben Azai brings a proof to Rabbi Yeshua. Matzasi Megillas Yuchasin b'Yerushalayim. I found an ancient document of lineage, of pedigree in Yerushalayim. V'kasaba ish pliny, so and so is a mamzer. Me'eshes ish, because he's a child of adultery. L'kayim divrei Rabbi Yeshua, that it's only from a capital offense. Now the parak ends off, Ishtay Shemesa, if Reuven is married to Rachel, then if she dies, Mutabachais, he's allowed to marry Rachel's sister Leah. Gershav Amesa, if Reuven divorced Rachel died, Mutabachais, he's allowed to marry her sister Leah. Nises La'achar, if Reuven married Rachel, divorced her, she married Chaim, Vamesa, and then she died, Mutabachais, he's allowed to marry Leah. Yevimtoi Shemesa, in the event that his sister-in-law died, that means that the Yevama died. If his Yevama was Rachel, and she died, so again, he's allowed to marry her sister. Chalatzla, let's say Reuven was married to Rachel, Reuven died childless, and Shimon gave chalitza to Rachel, and then Vamesa, and then Rachel died, so he's allowed to marry her sister. And now we start the fifth parak. Rabbi Gamliel Aimer, now we're going to learn the first part of this parak is talking about where there's one Yavam and two Yevamos. That means that Reuven was married to two wives, Sarah and Dinah. Reuven died childless. Rabbi Gamliel Aimer, ein get achar get. Now there is such a thing that you could give a get to the Yevama. That makes it that it impairs the Zika, and you can't do Yibam anymore. You could only do Chalitza. And when you do a get, then you're forbidden to the person's relatives. So Rabbi Gamliel Aimer ain't get achar get. If Shimon gives a get to Sarah, that impairs the Zika already, making Yibam not possible. And therefore, if he then gives a get to Dinah, that get is meaningless. And therefore, he is permitted to Dinah's relatives. If he gives Kiddusha Yevamim to Sarah, so that's it. You can't give Kiddushin to two Yevamos. So if he gives also a Maimer to Dinah, it's meaningless. And therefore, he's permitted to Dinah's relatives. There's no bia after bia. If he gives bia to Sarah, so then Sarah becomes his wife. A bia to Dinah then is just a lav of kaven bayis echadu bayna ve'ena bayna shnei batim. That bia is meaningless. It's a ma'ases nus. It doesn't necessitate a get, and it doesn't make him forbidden to Dinah's relatives. V'loi chalitza acha chalitza. And obviously, there's no chalitza after chalitza. If Shimon gives chalitza to Sarah, then if he gives chalitza to Dinah, the chalitza to Dinah is meaningless. The first chalitza already removed the Zika, And chalitza tadina doesn't make her pasul l'kuna, doesn't make him forbidden to her relatives. The Chachamim say, of course we agree with you. There's no bia after bia, and there's no chalitza after chalitza. But we don't agree with your first two dinim. You see, the get that was given to Sarah, since it doesn't remove the zika, because to remove the zika you have to do either yibum or chalitza, and it only impairs the zika, if he gives a get to Dina, that has also some validity. So therefore, v'chachamim ma'imim yesh get acha get, and also v'yesh ma'imir acha ma'imir. If he gives a ma'imir to Sarah and then he gives a ma'imir to Dina, since the zika is still there, the ma'imir to Dina also has some validity. It will need a get, and it will make him forbidden to Dina's relatives as well. Avol, like I explained, the Chacham agree that once he has bia with Sarah, she's his wife, he did yibam. Then if he has bia with Dina, that's just a maises nus. And also once he gives chalitza to Sarah, the zika is gone. A chalitza to Dina is meaningless. It doesn't make her asal l'kuna, and it doesn't make him forbidden to her relatives. I want to point out, first of all, that later on this evening, very likely, probably around 11:15, we will have a chok. It's a short one. It'll probably be about 35 minutes. And we remind you that this coming week, shir is at 8 o'clock, and we will be looking for a sponsor for Toldos, 718-916-3100, rmmwsi@aol.com. Thank you very much for joining us, and have a wonderful evening.